This is State Farm agent Jason Hardy coming to you today with the El Dorado Wildcats. Jason Hardy, State Farm Player of the Week. Today, we have Winston Williams of the El Dorado Wildcats. He is awarded the Jason Hardy State Farm Player of the Week. Congratulations, Winston. My first question is always, how does that make you feel for your coaches to recognize you and award you this week?
Makes me feel good because Coach Hill was talking about how the coaches just been investing in us and making sure we produce. Feels good. My production's been recognized.
All right. Good deal. Let's talk a little bit about that production. Your defensive end had 8 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks. So that is great production. Tell me a little bit about. I know it was a tough week coming off a tough loss against Sylvan Hill. So I know we don't want to dwell on it too much, but we got to talk about it a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what did go well. Obviously, the 2 sacks. What did go well for you to allow you to have that production from your defensive end spot?
Well, I think just knowing my part and my position and knowing the calls that Coach Abels puts in, he calls it for a reason. Sylvan Hills is a fast tempo. They're pretty good, so you can't make a lot of mistakes. So knowing your job is pretty important.
No doubt about it. Let's talk a little bit about that fast tempo and also a team that we kind of knew going into it they were going to go for it on 4th down. They were going 4 downs. They were going fast tempo. What kind of challenges does that really present to a defense to you got to get ready quick and okay, you're used to saying, okay, we got our job done. We stopped them for 3 downs. Now they're going to punt. Well, they're not going to punt. You got to stop them another down. What are the challenges that presents when a team comes in like that?
Well, all those extra snaps add up at the end of the game. So you just got to make sure you're conditioned and mentally and physically to be ready to line up and play that extra down. All
right. So, no rest for the weary. Coming off a tough game with Sylvan Hills, you got Benton. And you got to get ready to go again. So, coming off a loss, what does that preparation look like this week, getting ready for another tough team?
I think we got the philosophy, it's more lessons, no losses. So, I've never beat Benton since I've been in high school, so I think we're pretty hungry to beat them this year.
It's time, isn't it? It's time. All right. I hear that. Well, and let's talk a little bit about that. You're a senior this year. Has that been different for you to be looked at as that upperclassman, maybe that leader on the defensive side of the ball, whereas before maybe you could get away with not necessarily having to lead and not being the guy that's looked to, but now this year you are. Has that been a different experience for you?
A little bit. I got to watch myself, make sure I'm accountable. I got to help other people make sure they're right, too. Lead by example, if anything.
I love it. Lead by example. Let me get Coach Hill to jump in here a little bit. Your senior defensive end, leading by example. Talk to us a little bit about what you've seen out of him, Coach.
Yeah, well, Winston's a two-year starter for us. He started last year for us, and then this year as a senior. We've got a really good group of seniors. I think we have 25 seniors on our football team. And those guys have to set the tone. And I've met with them, and we've talked about things that we expect out of our seniors. We expect them to take care of the morale on the team, take care of the accountability, make sure, they've done a great job. I don't know when's the last time a senior's missed practice, that we had an incident, had to do extra conditioning or punishment, but they've done a great job. You don't have to be a senior to be a leader, but you really need your seniors to be leaders. And, when they take care of things that I don't have to deal with, that they handle it themselves, then you got a chance to be a really good football team. And, I know they're disappointed in last week's loss, but what a great opportunity this week to play a really good football team. Benton lost their first game a couple weeks ago, first conference game since they've joined this conference for three, maybe 4 years now. And that was the first conference game they've lost. So they are an elite program. But, we're lucky. We're looking forward to playing them at home with their home crowd and, see if we can rebound from last week.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. It's like Winston said earlier. He hadn't had a chance to beat them yet. It's time. Well, I certainly hope that's the case. I know you're going to give it your best effort. Winston, let's talk a little bit about more about you. Have you always been on the defensive side of the ball? Ever junior high, earlier in high school? Have you always played defense?
Yeah, since school ball, it's been defense.
Okay,
I don't think we'll count Pee Wee.
What has it always been on the line, defensive end, or have you ever...
Yeah, I've always been in line.
Okay, I was looking at you thinking you might have played a little linebacker somewhere along the way.
Yeah, I slammed up over the years.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, I mean, when you said defensive end, I was looking at you. I was like, yeah, that fits. That fits. Certainly not a small guy. Not the interior. Don't have the interior lineman look, but you're big enough and tall enough and long enough that I imagine on that end you really are able to create some problems for the offense. Talk to me a little bit about that. What kind of problems do you want to create? What is your mentality when that ball is snapped? What is your goal on each and every play?
It's chaos.
There we go. Yeah.
You know, you being a lineman, you hit them every play. You just got to see who's gonna quit first. See who likes football more.
Okay. All right. Coach Hill's dying to jump in. I saw the look on his face there.
Well, we talked about last week. I saw an NFL game, and the coach was talking, and football is one of the few sports that violence can fix a lot of problems. And it sounds bad to you, but the more I attack the guy that's blocking me, the more I attack the ball carrier, the more I attack the ball, the more the ball is thrown, the more I attack the ball. The more I go in and make the tackle and try to violently rip the ball out. It's one of those few sports that's really left that violence and aggression fixes a lot of problems. Now, Winston, he plays defensive end for us, but he's also probably one of our best wrestlers we have. And I think those two sports go hand in hand. And like I said, he's one of our best wrestlers, and we expect him to, if not win a state championship, at least be in the state tournament this year. After he leads our football team to the best season we can have.
There you go. Let me get your take on that a little bit, Winston. Wrestling's a pretty new sport for El Dorado. I guess it's been around 3-4 years now. Has it been a little longer than that?
Maybe 4 or 5 now.
4 or 5. Okay, yeah, but still that's relatively new. But you've gotten in on that. Talk to me a little bit about learning that sport. And like Coach was talking about, how that might translate a little bit over to your football abilities.
Well, I think being a lineman and a wrestler, you both got to use leverage. So I thought when I joined wrestling, I thought it was just who's stronger, who's going to pick up who, but it's more technique than you think, and it's all about leverage. So I think it's about the same when you're in the trenches.
Yeah. I think I would have gone into it with the same attitude you had there. I mean, if I'm stronger than the next guy, I think I can take him. But then you start talking about technique, and that does make sense, and getting leverage on that person. That does have to translate well from wrestling to football. So that is a really, really cool combination for you. Now, is this when you started wrestling? Is that your first opportunity to be multi-sport athlete, or you play anything else?
I had played a handful of sports growing up, like soccer, baseball, football. Junior high, I did shot put.
Okay. All right.
Pretty much high school has been wrestling and football.
Wrestling and football. All right. Well, man, it's been really great talking to you. Really interesting to learn a little bit more about you. Congratulations on your success so far, and certainly wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Enjoyed having you. Enjoyed meeting you. Again, congratulations to Winston Williams for being named the Jason Hardy State Farm Player of the Week. Coach Hill, Winston, best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.